talk about this Starfall Dark Kota Ronin edition. That's a lot of variants there. So yeah, this was commissioned for David of the Saber Museum. So I will have some instructions for him. But why don't we hop down to the table? I'll show you the chassis design and all the internals, go over a little bit of the functionalities, and then we'll hop back out. I'll demonstrate a few more things with the blade in, and then we'll wrap it up. Thanks for checking it out. This is a Kota, Dark Kota edition Ronin variant that Nick did for David of the Saber Museum. So this comes with this really cool leather wrap in kind of a katana style and some red and black accents. And it sports a Shtok V3 emitter. This does take a 7/8 blade. This red greebly is your blade retention. So when we want to take the grip off, and I've already removed the backed off the set screw, but we want to undo this set screw. And with these newer designs Nick's doing in brass, and I'll show that here in a second, but you want to make sure this is fully backed off. So on the upper portion of the brass chassis, he has this recess to kind of get more bite for the set screw to stay locked in place. So we want to just make sure it's fully backed off. That way we don't scratch up the hilt. So here we can see we've got the crystal chamber upgrade. We have 2 PLI strips and then a custom chassis designed by me in resin with a lot of greebly work and painted and weathered. So there's a row of 2020 neopixels on each side under these port greeblies, and then a array of 4 1515 neopixels in this greebly. This PCB is designed by Kim Canama of the Cantina. And on the crystal chamber, instead of your standard 50/50 single neopixel, this now sports the Shtok array of 11 1515 neopixels. So yeah, you got 2020 neopixels here. There are 5 in each strip. 2020 neopixels here. There's actually 10, but I've only illuminated 5, just so that we can get this cool design going with all these greeblies. So yeah, we're sporting a Proffieboard V2, 28mm bass speaker from KR, and underneath the wrap, underneath the greebly, is a KR Duo tactile switch. So up is your activation, down is your auxiliary, and it is a little bit sensitive because it's underneath this wrap. So you'll hear the click and you'll feel it. Actually, you'll probably feel it more than you'll hear it. But yeah, it'll be real easy to turn on and off. We do also have gesture controls for on and off. So 18650 battery. When we're ready to take the battery out or put it back in, we want to grip the chassis. The chassis does sport the Starfall logo in the battery tray, along with positive and negative indicators. Obviously, spring side's your negative. So when you do want to put the battery in, obviously nipple to nipple, you want to grip the chassis just a smidge so that we're not yanking it out. And then we'll just put our finger in there, goes in nice and easy, and then we can pop our kill switch. So the config is on the SD card. If you do need to do any reprogramming, this does fit a 90-degree micro USB cable. But if you need to get to any other aspect of it, the Proffi does tuck under here, so you can pull it out just a smidge and lift it up if you need to, but you shouldn't need to ever. So got some cool accent animations in the off state for the PLI, the crystal chamber, the strips, and then the little port accent. And then if we want to activate, they do something a little different. And then they also react to blaster blocks, clashes, lockups, etc. We also have twist on and twist off, as well as thrust on. And I'll demonstrate that a little bit more with the blade in. But let's just go through a couple presets here and check out these accents. It does sport the Starfall sound font package, 8 fonts, and a battery level indicator. So each of the fonts does a little something different in the on and off state. This one uses a volume meter on the accent, so the louder it is, the more it lights up.
Hero's Journey.
Similarly, this is a volume meter, but in a different color. So the louder it is, more accents light up. We got the little port accent. Okay, so when we go to put the grip on, again, we just want to align the set screw up. Be very careful and gentle. This is printed in a tough resin, but resin is a lot more brittle than other 3D printing methods. So we just want to make sure that we don't take our chances. So, all right, we'll put a blade in. Again, it does take a 7/8 blade. And then we'll go over a few more extra features. All right, so we've gone over some of the internals. We've shown off a few things with the chassis. We're here to show off now some blade styles, a couple fonts, go over some quick functionality items. This is a Saber install for a repeat client, so this information is kind of duplication. He knows that I will print out the instructions, and anything I don't cover in the video will be on the printout. But yes, so this again takes a 7/8 blade. The programming is for the client is for a 36-inch blade. I just have a 32 here to show off, but all the animations and stuff will show up just fine. The set screw is this red knurled thumb screw. So because the wrap is right next to it, you just want to make sure that you get a good turn on there so that your blade's in tight. You don't need to shove the blade in. You just need to rest it on the pogo pins. Again, 2-button setup. Top is our activation, bottom is our auxiliary. We do have gesture control on and off. So we have twist on, and then we have thrust on, and then we have twist off. Those gestures will get us into battle mode, which means we don't have to push a button to engage lockups, melts, drags, stabs, etc. So let's demonstrate that real quick. So to activate, top button. Now we're in normal mode. So a clash will just be clashes. This is running OS 6, and I think this is real clash, so depending on the sound level, you'll get a different animation. Same with the lockup. But if we want to do blaster blocks, we'll hit the auxiliary. And then to engage lockups, we'll hold either power or aux and then clash. Okay. Until we let go. That's the same for melt, and that's the same for drag. Okay? However, if we twist on or thrust on, we'll get into battle mode. So now a clash will start our lockup until we pull away. Same goes for a stab. I'm sorry, a melt. Okay. You can move the saber around a little bit, but when you pull away, that's when you'll get out of it. Same goes for drag effects. Gotta be pointing down. You can move it a little bit, right, and then pull away. So yeah, let's show off a couple more fonts now. If we want to go forward, we just hit the aux, but if we do need to go backwards, we point the saber down and hit aux, okay? We get this. To engage our tracks, we can hold in the off state, hold the power button for 1 second. Do the same to turn it off. Or if we're ignited, and our saber is upright, if we do that, then we'll get our tracks. But if we're in our other positions, that holding power will be a force effect. So we should be able to show that off. This force happens to be a quote. But so if we want to turn the track off, just hold it upright. And that goes for all of the presets, okay? So now let's just show off a couple sound fonts. And I've tried to do almost all of the presets an effect for when we use our force.
Hero's Journey.
Now, Ruin is one of a few sound fonts on the Saber that does have a pre-on. The only way to get the pre-on is to hit hit activation. If we twist on or thrust on, we're just going to bypass the pre-on. And that's all that is.
Reconcile.
So there I double tapped power to start muted. So now we can just play around with it silent. So Cornhorn is a font that uses the dual phase setup. So the color change mode of holding aux and tapping power to get into color change will, instead of getting into the color wheel, directly change between white and a whitish purple. So our main is going to be white, and then we did a wipe there into purple, and I don't know how well that shows up on camera. But you hear the little color change sound, and now we can see that we're back in white. So yeah, that'll wrap it up. Thanks for checking it out, and to the client, I appreciate your business.